for? You think I'm too? Huh?
Don't you go there.
Don't you, man?
Don't you
Oh,
Tamar Braxton, are you okay? Clearly not. Tamar surprised everyone by making an appearance at tonight's Versus, and now she's responding to everyone saying, why are you dabbing the sweat off of your brother-in-law's head, especially after the rumors that came out on the latest episode of The Braxtons, accusing you of sleeping with Toni Braxton's ex-boyfriend.
Toni Braxton?
Toni Braxton, I got you on the phone.
Braxton. No, Toni Braxton ain't never had your back.
This is why I got an attitude about the story, because somebody else's moment was hijacked. When you woke up in the morning, when all of us woke up in the morning, the story was not how great Versus was. The story was not, ooh, that was a Versus for the history books. The story was not, ooh, Versus was so good. The story is Tamar Braxton, Cash Money No Limit Versus. That, I think that did a disservice to the whole thing. Hijacked somebody else's, and I'm not implying that it was intentional. Somebody else's moment was hijacked. The next morning, none of the stories related to Versus should have had anything to do with the Tamar Braxton.
You don't like me because y'all jealous.
You're a mean girl. You're trying.
You're such a hater. Y'all hate me so bad. Oh my God.
Man, the way Birdman keeps pulling grown folks into a whirlwind is wild. Every time his name comes up, it feels like another celebrity family gets dragged into a fresh mess, and somehow the drama always circles right back to the same group of people. Kimora Lee's daughters call him Uncle Birdman. Keisha Cole literally got into a fight over him, and now Toni and Tamar are caught in this back and forth over who had him first. This whole situation keeps unfolding like a never-ending soap opera. People spent months going after Tamar, saying she crossed the line with Birdman. It got so loud online that some folks made it sound like she was doing way too much around a man her sister was dealing with. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. The story might not even be what we were told, and the version that just came out flips the whole thing upside down. See, Brat said she's tired of anyone trying to call Tamar a homewrecker, so she stepped forward with her own receipts. And according to her, Tamar wasn't sneaking around trying to take Toni's man. She says Tamar was actually with Birdman before Toni ever stepped in. Brat claims Tamar even tried to support Toni despite everything.
The Brat and Tamar worked on This Nation. They became close, they became friends, whatever. So if you know, the Braxtons came out last week and Tawanda stated that Tamar slept with Toni's ex, yada yada yada. There was a Versus last weekend. Tamar was on stage with Birdman, wiping off his sweat, stopping him from drinking, getting drunk, whatever. Now it's going around that Tamar and Birdman dated back in 2003, and now we know that Toni and Birdman are married.
Which makes this whole situation even messier than people thought. But is Brat telling the truth, or is this just another dramatic spin? That's what everyone's trying to figure out, because people definitely had concerns about how Tamar acted around Birdman. I mean, Tamar was rubbing Birdman's head, wiping his sweat, standing behind him like she was the one holding things down, and Toni was at home the whole time.
Tamar, girl, why are you wiping the sweat off of Birdman's head like that, sis? Now, as a married woman, I think I can grab the mic real quick and speak on this, because even though it may, like, she may be innocently doing it, girl, no, you don't do that. Like, the man's been performing on stage all this time and he don't need you wiping the sweat off his head. Now, I'm hoping it was just like a gesture, but girl, y'all are all performers. Like, don't do that.
That wasn't the only thing that Tamar was doing. She was also allegedly twerking on Juvenile during this Versus event. Of course, Tamar had a response after people reacted on social media, specifically this tweet saying, now, why was you on stage with your sister's man? Tamar retweets this and says, because she couldn't be here and she loves her husband, so I'm going to hold it down for her and my brother. The F? And sidebar, even if Toni was available, I don't think Toni Braxton, the legend, would be there either. Maybe behind the scenes, but not on stage, dabbing the sweat off of Birdman.
Folks saw that and said it was strange, and honestly, it did come off more personal than just helping out your sister. Tamar tried to defend herself, though. She claimed she was only supporting Toni and even posted a video of her FaceTiming Toni while she sat next to Birdman, trying to prove it was innocent. But people weren't buying that explanation because the energy she was giving off didn't look like simple support. It looked real cozy, real familiar, and very intentional. Things eventually got so heated that it nearly turned into a physical fight between the sisters when Towanda exposed Tamar for messing around with Birdman behind Toni's back. And that reveal didn't come out of nowhere. It happened right after Tamar tried to embarrass Towanda publicly.
Do I know where you live?
Well, of course you don't come. So
Exactly.
my
So
thing,
how would I
I know
give
where
it
you
to 'em?
live because I put down your down payment.
Beautiful.
And you've been stealing from me for the past couple years on my credit card.
Tamar tried to act slick by telling everyone she knew exactly where Towanda lived, saying she covered the down payment on her house. She even said, "I know where you live because I used my credit card for your down payment." And instead of stopping there, Tamar pushed it further and accused Towanda of using her credit cards for years without permission. This wasn't just a small family argument. This was a full-blown sisters versus sisters showdown, and Birdman was sitting right in the center of it all like the eye of the storm. The wild part is, none of this even sounds surprising anymore. Towanda has been hit with accusations for years, and people online still bring up the claims that she used other folks' belongings like they were her own.
Towanda, baby, I love her to pieces. But hide your stuff when she come over, because she snatched the wig off your head when you look the other way. She's super sneaky, clever, and crafty.
There were even old whispers about her taking their mother's social security checks and supposedly dipping into Toni's money too. This family drama stays on another level, and when people look deeper, things started connecting in ways that made the situation look even messier.
You know exactly what you're doing. Don't be looking like that, you snake-ass son of a gun.
Okay.
You're a snake, and then you like controversy, and you like all of that.
Okay.
So why would you do that?
Tawanda's bankruptcy papers showed she was drowning in debt close to $500,000. And right there in those same documents, they listed a $35,000 loan she owed Tamar, the same loan used for the down payment on her house. Tamar wasn't just talking out of nowhere. She had real paperwork behind what she said. It made the pattern look obvious. Towanda allegedly took from her sisters and expected nobody to challenge her. But Towanda was not about to sit there and let Tamar walk away with a win. Not at all. She clapped back in the loudest way possible, exposing Tamar for sneaking around with Toni's man.
And you've been stealing from me for the past couple years on my credit cards. And help
But
me.
what you steal?
I don't steal anything.
You don't? You stole men.
Who's the man that I stole?
Tony's. You slept with them
Oh,
a few times.
Who? What man?
You not get the lead.
Oh, dirty, low down ass bitch.
Oh, you're
So
such
now
a
you think
liar.
my
Such a
sisters-
liar.
And that bomb dropped hard. Tamar completely snapped, and the way she reacted showed she did not see that coming at all. The one person who looked genuinely stunned, though, Toni Braxton. She stood there like she had just heard something she never expected in her whole life. Meanwhile, Towanda had clearly been holding on to that information for ages, just waiting for the perfect moment to throw it like a grenade.
Toni Braxton?
Toni Braxton, I got you on
Toni
the phone.
Braxton. No, Toni Braxton ain't never had your back.
I got Toni Braxton.
I want it on
No,
record.
I wanna be-
I want it on national
No,
television. You want to
no.
say I don't have your back?
You didn't have my back
Lord
when
Jesus.
it came to y'all. Your man for? You think I'm too? Huh?
Don't you go there.
Your man. Your man.
Don't you go there.
First of all, you a superstar. You are a. Don't put your hands on me.
I didn't touch you. I didn't touch you. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Toni.
This is unacceptable behavior. I had to try to de-escalate it as much as I could. I didn't touch Tamar. I got in between she and Toni because Toni's smaller than Tamar. That's like a Rottweiler trying to fight a...
And here's the wildest part. Trina's reaction made it seem like she already knew. That raised so many questions because how do you keep something like that from your own sister, especially when it involves a sister getting involved with another sister's man? And it didn't stop with just one man either. Towanda claimed Tamar was messing around with two of Toni's men, and that sent the internet into full detective mode. Suddenly, everyone was digging, scraping old blogs, trying to piece together who these two men could be. That's when an old rumor resurfaced. Tamar was allegedly involved not only with Birdman, but also with Carrie Lewis. It got even heavier when people traced that rumor back to 2011, where a blogger accused Tamar of sleeping with Toni's ex-husband because she wanted to level up and be more connected in the industry. And what made that rumor extra messy was that the post said it wasn't just Tamar doing something shady. It claimed Toni had been involved with Vince first before things shifted toward Tamar. This family storyline wasn't just dramatic, it was layered, tangled, and soaked in old secrets that kept bubbling back to the surface with every argument. Let's keep it real for a second. This isn't the first time Tamar has been accused of crossing lines with men who were already taken. Her name got dragged heavy when that situation with Michael Malden, Jermaine Dupri's father, blew up. So when people started connecting old drama to the possibility that she might have had something going on with her sister's ex, the whole thing didn't sound unbelievable to a lot of folks. Some people even said it looked like she thought getting close to certain men would boost her career back then. And once she started spending more time around Birdman, the energy between them looked way too familiar, like this wasn't some brand new connection. What really had people side-eyeing everything was how Tawanda and Trina didn't show Birdman that same hyped-up sister-in-law treatment during that big versus battle. If he was truly their brother-in-law, wouldn't they have been acting a little more excited around him? It just didn't add up. But here's where things take a sharp turn. Even though Tamar has fallen out with her sisters in all kinds of messy ways, Brat made it clear that this situation wasn't one of the moments where the sisters were right about her. According to Brat, Tamar and Birdman actually had a real relationship way back in 2003, and this was long before Toni was ever set up with Vince. That detail alone changed the whole storyline. Brat said Toni's thing with Birdman happened much later, which means people accusing Tamar of trying to steal Toni's man were jumping to the wrong conclusion. She made it sound like folks had the timeline completely twisted. Brat also pointed out something important. She said it just doesn't make sense for people to attack Tamar over Birdman when Tamar has shown nothing but support, even after her sister ended up marrying the man Tamar once dated. That's not the kind of reaction someone would have if they were bitter or trying to sabotage anything. And let's not forget the Halloween moment. Tamar and her son dressed up as Toni and Birdman together, full outfits and everything. That wasn't shade, that wasn't pettiness. That was Tamar openly playing into the joke, hyping her sister up and acting like she was cool with the whole thing despite their history. That's the type of bold, unpredictable stuff Tamar does, and Brat refuses to let anyone twist it into something dirty or disrespectful. Brat basically said people need to chill with painting Tamar as the villain in this situation because the real story goes way deeper than the internet ever knew. Man, this whole situation is all over the place. And the internet jumped in the mix fast because people love calling out celebrity chaos like it's a sport. A lot of viewers pointed out something real. These famous men get passed around way more than they admit. They act like the women are the ones swapping partners. But half these men swear they're smooth operators while they're really out here playing themselves. It had folks saying Tamar kept the money flowing for the Braxton household for years, and nobody dared to bring that up out loud. But the same people also said if the roles were reversed, Tamar would have been dragged non-stop. They said Toni always gets a softer reaction from the family, while Tamar gets the smoke every single time, no matter who actually did what. That double standard had viewers shaking their heads like, come on now, this whole crew picks and chooses who they protect. And what really stirred things up was the fact that some viewers remembered old whispers from way back before blogs even took off. People said there used to be a small site that reported Tamar and Birdman were a thing long ago, and the claim back then was that Birdman got tired of Tamar's big personality before she ended up with Vince. Hearing that resurface now had people saying this drama didn't just pop up out of nowhere, it had a whole history behind it. Whether those claims were true or just messy throwbacks, one thing was clear. People have been talking about Tamar and Birdman for years, long before anybody else tried to pretend it was brand new information. And with all these old stories coming back up, it made everything happening today feel even more complicated because nobody knows which part is the real truth and which part is just old gossip being recycled with a new twist. Things kept getting even more tangled because once old stories about Tamar and Birdman resurfaced, people started going back through years of Braxton family drama, trying to figure out where the truth actually started. And the deeper people dug, the more it felt like this Birdman situation wasn't just some random misunderstanding. It was part of a long pattern of tension inside that family that never got dealt with. Every time something goes wrong, it's like another layer peels back and exposes something even messier underneath. What really made this whole storyline explode again was how comfortable Tamar always seemed around Birdman. even before all these accusations turned into full-on family arguments. Folks were noticing how she interacted with him, how casual she looked around him, and how relaxed he looked around her, almost like they had a long history nobody wanted to admit. And when you compare that to how Toni acted around Birdman in public, the vibes didn't match at all, which only made people ask even more questions. Then the internet started pointing out how the Braxton sisters have this weird habit of calling each other out when things get heated, but keeping some of the biggest secrets tucked away for years. Towanda holding on to info about Tamar and Toni's men wasn't shocking to people who watched the show. That family has thrown out some wild accusations on camera before, and you always get the feeling they know way more than they're willing to say out loud. But this time, because Birdman is involved, the whole situation hits different. Plus, with Brat stepping in and basically saying, "Let me set the timeline straight," everybody got even more confused. Because if Tamar was with Birdman first, like early 2000s first, then that means the whole narrative people pushed about Tamar trying to take Toni's man was wrong from the start. And that completely flips how people view this situation. It makes Toni's involvement with Birdman look way more complicated than the internet originally made it seem. But even that raised more questions, because if Toni knew her sister had history with Birdman, why did she act like Tamar was the one crossing a line? And why didn't the rest of the sisters step in earlier to clear things up instead of waiting until everything blew up publicly? It felt like everybody was holding on to pieces of the truth, but nobody wanted to put the full puzzle together until they were angry enough to throw the pieces at each other. And as more people reflected on past interviews and old footage, they started noticing small moments where Tamar hinted that she had been treated unfairly by her sisters long before this. Moments where she felt brushed aside, misunderstood, or pushed out of certain conversations. All of that suddenly looked different once Brat revealed the timeline, because it showed how much was happening behind the scenes while the public had no idea what the real story was. This whole situation didn't just expose the Birdman triangle. It exposed years of tension that had been simmering behind closed doors, waiting for the right fight to explode in everyone's face. At this point, the whole Birdman storyline has turned into one of the most layered celebrity family dramas people have seen in a long time. Every time someone tries to explain their side, another piece of information drops, and it completely changes what everyone thought they knew. And that's why viewers keep watching this story like it's a whole reality show happening in real time, because every person involved seems to be holding on to a different version of the truth. What makes things even more intense is how the sisters keep reacting. Nobody's playing calm, everybody's emotional, and every reveal hits like a new plot twist. The tension between Tamar, Toni, and Towanda has gotten so deep that people don't even know if this can be fixed anymore. Because once you start exposing secrets from decades ago, that's not something you just walk away from quietly. It's the kind of drama that leaves permanent cracks, even when folks pretend they've moved on. And with Brat stepping into the middle of it, the situation went from messy to explosive. She basically blew the dust off an entire chapter of the family's history and said, "Here's what really happened." That alone had viewers stunned, because it proved this situation goes way further back than anyone expected. Now everybody is trying to figure out who's telling the truth, who's holding back, and who's twisting things to protect their image. But one thing is clear. This family has been carrying around secrets for years, and Birdman just happened to be the one name that forced everything out into the open. And something tells me this isn't the last time we're going to hear about it, because when people start digging into the past, they rarely stop at just one storyline. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe Tamar had Birdman first, like Brat claimed? Or do you think there's still more going on here that hasn't come out yet? I want to hear your take on all of it. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button so you don't miss the next deep dive. And if you want more wild celebrity drama, go ahead and click the next video popping up on your screen. Trust me, you're gonna want to see it. See you on the next one.